Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Anne Manera. Welcome to another Monday morning live color along. Here we are at 10 a.m. Got another live color along. Here's Memorial Day. Can you believe it's Memorial Day already? Happy Memorial Day. Good morning, Beth and Jean. Good morning, Sharon. Mary's here with us this morning. Trisha's joined us. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day, a great weekend. Any exciting Memorial Day plans? I don't know. People are kind of keeping smaller groups, right? So not really a lot of cookouts or crazy things happening. Hope everyone is staying safe. So this morning I'm coloring the page from Color Along Volume 14. Once again, we're still working on this book. We're going to be working on this book until September 7th, I believe, or September 14th, way out there, way past Labor Day anyway. So we're kicking off summer today, I guess, and we are coloring with Chalk Pastels this morning. So let's see what page we are on today. Paisley, my friend, is joining me in the background. She's got a lot to say today. Miss Chatty Cathy. You need to lay down, my friend, Paisley, okay? Nobody wants to hear that song today, right? I don't know who's crazier, me or the dog, right? Okay, so I've got Stabilo Chalk Pastels. This is my 60-pack. Love this pack of Chalk Pastels. Good morning, Pat Christie. I don't know why I've saved my pencil shavings, but we'll put those aside for now. The other thing I'm going to do today is do a flip through of my brand new grayscale book called Landscape Beauty. And I also have a free page from this book for everyone. So I'm going to, while we're waiting for everyone to get here, I'm going to find the link for that page so you can get a free page from Landscape Beauty. And I actually think I'm going to have some time to color the free page during today's color along, so while we're here together. So you can get a free page from this new book. You can just type this in. Okay. So, So this Landscape Beauty book, it's on Amazon. It's only $5.99. All of my grayscale books now are only $5.99, which I think is a huge, huge deal. I lowered a lot of prices of a lot of my books because a lot of people are home and coloring, looking for something to do. And the best thing that I could do was lower the prices rather than the better thing I could do, right, would be give everything away for free. But since I couldn't do that, I decided to lower, good morning, Sandra, to lower the price of select books. So there are a lot of books that are now priced at $5.99. Some of them are $6.99, but $5.99 seems to be the common price. There's other books that are priced all the way up to $15.99, but you can get a pretty good selection of books for $5.99, and all the grayscale books are $5.99. Hey, good morning, Amana. So many people that are watching this morning can attest to the fact that you can probably stock up on a lot of coloring books at that $5.99 price point. So I hope that will be of some comfort to people, or give people something to do, and give people joy and comfort. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to lower them. So Landscape Beauty. I'm going to flip through this first before we get started. It's okay, Omana. Welcome. No, I said good morning. Not sure why I said welcome. It's okay. I got it. So this book has all different landscapes in it in grayscale. And a lot of fun to color this book. Such beautiful, stunning pictures in this book. And there's ones with water, with bridges. This is the one that's available as a freebie right now on my website. You can get this page. You can go ahead and download it. The link is here. I was going to pin it, but then it kind of gets in the way of everything. And I'm going to see what we can do with this page today, because today's kind of a quick page with these chalk pastels. It's a grayscale page today also. So I thought it'd be kind of a cool day to premiere kind of this grayscale book. But stunning landscapes, can really do a lot with this. I cannot wait to see what people do with this book. I know Lynn Miller already colored the whole book, and she did a phenomenal job. But I really can't wait to see what other people are going to do with it, because I'm always eager to see what everybody does with all of my books, actually. Good morning, Debbie. Happy Memorial Day. I've never really been a big fan of Memorial Day. Does anyone feel like this is like a good holiday? Does anyone feel like, oh, another crazy holiday? I just feel like there's just too much noise, and I'm really not a fan of, I'm going to be a crab about it. I'm not really a fan of fireworks. You know, you have dogs or any type of pet that maybe doesn't like fireworks. Paisley, my dog Paisley, sent out a message the other day about her anti-fireworks message. And there were a lot of fireworks in my area over the past couple of days. I don't know why. I don't know if I missed the memo on that. So really stunning. This one is actually, I can't wait to color this one. The reason why I can't wait to color this one with these trees is because I love how this has kind of that extremely white spot in the middle, and it makes it look like it's really going into the distance. So I'm really eager to color this one, especially these trees. I always love to color something with just trees or baskets, that type of thing. This is a cool one of this beach, but it's kind of like a lake with a snowy scene. I guess you could call it a beach. And something happened to my copy of this book. I don't know what happened, but it flipped. But the rest of the book is just basically the same pages. And here, the back of the book has the cover of the book has the color photo of each of the pages. So that is Landscape Beauty. If you can check that out, it's available on Amazon. I'm going to pop a link for the book itself on Amazon, only $5.99. And then you can get a free page on my website. There's a link that is in the comments of this chat. So here is the link for Landscape Beauty. Okay. So this page, I have another piece of paper behind here just in case. I don't want to get pressure. It's not going to go through because we're using Chalk Pastels, but I don't want it to, I don't want the pressure of the pencil to go on the next page. So that's why I'm putting another page behind there. And this page is actually from an original painting that I had done. It was in acrylic. And I thought I had the original painting somewhere, but I think I gave it to somebody or I've lost it. I don't know. So I don't know. I seem to misplace an awful lot of things lately. You ever have one of those, I'm going to call it a spell in your life where you will misplace things? Or you put things in the wrong place. This morning I tried to put a frying pan in the microwave instead of putting it in a cabinet. I mean, I don't know. Comical, right? You got to admit it is a little comical. I'm going to start out with this kind of a deep orange color. These pencils have a really good point on them because I use an electric pencil sharpener for these. And I've gone over a few times about how to sharpen a chalk pastel colored pencil. If you want me to go over that again today, as far as sharpening it, let me know. I will review that. There's 3 different ways you can sharpen them, and I can review each one of them. But I'm going to start out with just the same type of heavy pressure, or same pressure on the whole thing as I would if I was coloring with colored pencils and coloring any type of grayscale, whether it was grayscale photo or grayscale illustration. And allowing the grays to kind of guide me and tell me where it should be lighter, where it should be darker. And just kind of giving it a little bit of a ridge here. And if you notice, this side of the vase or the picture is not as dark, but I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of the same pressure. And as I move along from one side to the other, I want to make sure that I color it kind of in the direction of the paint strokes that it's on here, so that it would look like it's a little more three-dimensional. Sharon's making a comment here. Sharon's saying, I hate that. I was always so organized, so when I put something where it doesn't belong, I go crazy looking for it and won't quit till I find it. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm on a throwaway kick lately, so... You know, when you see people sometimes, they say, oh, look, I've got a dumpster. I saw someone put a comment the other day that she got a dumpster for her birthday or something, and she was cleaning out her house. And I wish I had a dumpster, actually, because I would go nuts. I'm on a big throwaway kick. I don't know what's happening. I guess sometimes I go on kicks. I cleaned out a closet the other day. Next, I've been shredding a lot. I was going to burn everything, but then I decided I didn't want the fire part of it. So I decided to shred. So I've been shredding like a maniac. I've been shredding so much stuff lately that the shredder started to heat up. So now I'm switching over to this next one. These are numbered. These do not have names on them. So the first one I used was number 305, and this one is number 310. So pretty close in color because of the number. And this one is 311. So look how close. So now I'm just going to kind of go over this area here. And when you use a second color on top of what you've already colored, it kind of acts as a blending pencil. It kind of acts as a blending tool. This also has this tortillon in here. This is called like a blending stump, and you can actually blend with that. Sometimes I just like to use my fingers. But you need to just kind of remember that the oils from your hands will actually make a difference in what you're coloring, and what the end result is anyway. I'm going to go with a brown color for the inside part here, and just kind of, I think this is brown. Yes. Maybe it's eggplant. All right, so just kind of like the inside of that. And then I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of brown on this side, and kind of on the underside of the handle, and then on this underside of the handle. Because think about where the light was not going to hit. You know, where the sun don't shine is what you got to think about it. Like, where is it not going to hit? Now, if I go back in with my fingers, or there's a lot of dust when you use this. So if you're someone that has any type of asthma or breathing problems, please be careful while you're using chalk pastels, because it can be a little, it can be a bit much sometimes. This is a grayish color, right? That one's grayish, but this is more what I was looking for, this cream color. So you've really got to be mindful of the dust that's there. So see how I'm just kind of going on top of this lighter section? Just kind of giving it short little strokes, kind of like in a painterly way. So it has a lot of brush strokes. Omana's laughing at me. You're quoting me, right, Omana? Hey, good morning, Alice. I decided I didn't want the fire part of it. Is that what I said? Hey, look. It's Facebook Live video, memory loss, and crazy comments, right? You do a lot of live videos, Omana. You get it. You have this like thing that happens. I don't know what it is. It's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? A lot going on. If you have never checked out Omana's group, Omana has a really cool group, a Learn to Draw group. You should pop the link to your group, Omana. I bet a lot of people that are watching today would like to be part of that group. That's a really cool group. And I was happy to hear that you are writing a book about how to draw, because I was looking at your one of your posts the other day, just right before you sent me that message, and I actually said to myself, when is she going to come out with the book? Because she's got to stop doing all this stuff for free. She needs to compile all of this. So I was happy to hear that you came out with that. Mary says, I can stress out looking for something when I am not looking for it, it will appear. I know. I'm going to keep that as my comment. I decided I didn't want the fire part of it. I didn't want to be part of the fire, I guess. I didn't want to, like, deal with the fire, is what I want to say. You know? It's kind of dangerous. As a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why I didn't pursue the fire. Was because I looked in my backyard. I have a big fire pit in my backyard, like a fireplace. And I looked above it, and I realized that the trees that were hanging above the fireplace were very low. And I decided that if the flames ever went through the chimney of the fireplace, which they probably might, that it would not be a good situation. So rather than set the whole neighborhood on fire, I decided to shred. Yeah, take a look. Omana has a really cool drawing group. It's a group, it's How to Draw Drawing 101. It's on Facebook. And take a look at it. And she does a lot of live videos in that group about how to draw. She draws a lot of people. I don't draw people. But Omana does. So it's a really good combo for the two of us to kind of shout out each other, right? Give a shout out to each other. This one's a darker, kind of a mustard color. So So check that out if you have a chance. So I'm just kind of, notice I haven't touched this page as far as wanting to blend it with my fingers or with the blending stump. So this is just kind of blending itself with the pencils. Omana is saying, make sure you answer both questions or my moderators won't add you. They are super serious about that. Yeah, I'm not really super serious about all that type of stuff with questions. I don't know what it is. I don't like to focus on that part of it, but you're right. You gotta be careful of who you're adding to a group, right? Because you don't know what they're there for, what the story is. I'm gonna use this green color. I honestly don't know what happened to this painting. I do remember the day I did this painting, though. I wasn't in a very good mood. It was back in my angry days. Hey, Bonnie Miller. No, I don't know what happened this day. Do you ever draw something or create something and you're just like not in a really good mood? And then the result, you can see it in the result. Yeah, it definitely helps to weed out the trolls. You're right, Umana. I don't really have very many trolls. One night, though, I was doing this live video like at 7 o'clock at night. And I did have some trolls that night. And someone wanted to buy my coloring books. And they said to me, we're going to go, I just want to go outside and sell some drugs so I can buy your books. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's the only time I ever had trolls. I've never really had a problem in any of my groups. Well, I only have one group that's like open to people, but everything else is a private group. So look at the difference in this pencil compared to this one. Look at the difference in the points of them. This is the result of sharpening with a razor blade with an X-Acto knife, and this is the result of a electric pencil sharpener. Sharon is saying, so were these angry brush strokes we're looking at? I guess. I don't know. I was in a funk. It was I don't know what was going on in my life at this time. This was from a while ago. I guess I was in a little bit of a funk. This is reminding me of that episode on Everybody Loves Raymond when the kid does the book. He writes that, remember that episode? He writes that book called The Angry Family, and the whole family doesn't realize that it's really about them. I'm going to go with some orange, my friend Orange, in the background here. Omar says, the brush strokes in the image have a bunch of energy in them. I know, I think so. I figured you were very passionate when you painted it initially. Those art skills we learned in college, love it. Yes, exactly. If only I could find the painting. I mean, maybe I could trouble myself and get up while we're doing this and actually go downstairs to my painting studio and see if it's down there, but I don't think it is. I think that my paintings have gotten better since this painting. Do you see a progression in your own art? I'm going to go with this orangey color again, number 310. And just to kind of give it a little bit of where the darker sections of the brushstrokes are, of the image. Have you seen my grayscale painting books, Amana? Hello, Chris Costelli. Hey, Shanna. Thank you. So what is everyone doing on this Memorial Day during a pandemic? I hope everyone's nice and quiet today. I don't want to hear any noise. I don't want to hear any fireworks. Notice how quiet my dogs are. We had a very, very long talk this morning. We had a meeting. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to go with this lighter orange color. And just kind of add some more strokes into this. I don't even think this is the same color as what is here. think it might have been a different color. But see how the pencil is just simply blending the two together? Omana is asking, is it okay if I share your stream as a watch party to my group? Oh, completely. Yes, please do. I always love a share. Thank you. These color alongs are always free to watch. And then if you want to color what I'm coloring, you have to, then there's a book you can buy. You know? I'm going to just give this one a quick shopping. Okay, so here's what's happening. My pencil sharpener is getting stuck, or the lead is getting stuck in it. And if that happens in an electric pencil sharpener, simply take a regular pencil and it will unclog it. A little bit of a tidbit for you. But if I wanted to sharpen this, I'm going to have to sharpen this the way I need to anyway, then I would just use a razor blade. So I watch a lot of live streams while I'm working on other books. Right now, I am working on a color by number book, and it's called Snazzy. I don't know why I called it that. It was like a word that just popped into my head, and I'm like, you know, I kind of like that. So Snazzy will be out next, probably, what's today, Monday? I'm going to try to get it out by the end of the week. And what else am I working on? I'm working on Drawer Along Volume 3 because I'm thinking I'm going to continue Drawer Alongs. I mean, it's up to my Drawer Along people if we want to continue them. So, the Drawer Along books. Have you seen those, Amana? I have Drawer Along books now. We have a Drawer Along group. We meet every week. And we are meeting until July 29th, I believe. So if we want to do a third session, volume 3, what do you think? Should we do a third session? Alice is saying, I had a cookout yesterday with 2 friends, just relaxing today. Allergies are kicking my butt. I know, it's been kind of rainy here. It's kind of overcast today and raining. But talk about the heat the other day. It was horrible. I think it was Thursday night. It's like, what the heck happened? Every year by this point, or every year, like the first couple of days that it's really hot, apparently I was told, after I said it again this year, that I declared that I miss winter. I'm not afraid to say it. I miss it. I already miss it. I'm going to put some blue back here. So I was talking to someone this morning about all different types of memberships that people are signing up for, subscriptions that people are signing up for. You guys signing up for a lot of subscriptions. I was talking to somebody and they said, oh, I've already signed up for Hulu and now I'm streaming HBO. And have you joined any new memberships? Memberships are like the thing. They're like the hot new trend. So I'm just adding some blue to this. This is kind of like the ground or the drapery type thing. And I'm going to add a darker green color also to it. Just kind of like underneath this. I'm leaving this picture white. I'm not going to color this. Oh, I didn't know if sometimes I don't always assume that everyone is interested in the in continuing stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely do Draw Along 3. But I need to, if we're going to do that, I'm going to need to work on that book soon. I've already kind of started compiling, like I've created a folder for it in my computer basically. And figured I need to get it out on Amazon as soon as possible. Because sometimes Amazon's dragging their feet in reviewing books. My books are on fire. Amana. Oh, I wish they were on fire more than I thought. More than they appear. I look good on paper, Amana. You know? I lowered the prices. That's my strategy lately. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie about why I did this. First of all, I wanted to make sure that I was able to kind of give back. because people are giving out a lot of free stuff, right? It's hard to compete with free. It's really hard to compete with free. So I decided that if I lowered my prices now, then it would help sell more books because they were lower prices, hopefully. And it would, in turn, in the long term, it would kind of give them some traction and let them gain a higher rank on Amazon. So as we go into the Christmas season, I don't know how the Christmas season is going to be, though. You know, it's kind of a weird world we're living in right now. So we don't know how that actually is going to pan out. We're having fun in the draw-alongs, though. That's for sure. That's a cool class to be part of. All right, so there's my kind of my bottom portion. And then the top area, I guess I want to make it a little bit lighter. So it looks like it will... I knew that meant super cool. I'm with it, Omana. I know we have a huge age difference between us, but I think I'm with I think I'm hip to that term. I knew what you meant. I got it, girl. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, people talk about the fourth quarter of the year, right? And sales for books and, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I always just kind of think to myself a couple of things. First of all, like, what will be available? Because, you know, there's a shortage of some things now. Like, what's going to be available to even purchase? And what will people be buying? And will people have enough money to buy anything? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. And how about the price of puzzles? That really kind of surprises me. The price of puzzles. I feel like it's a price gouging thing, and I'm not really happy about it. When I was looking at some puzzles the other day on Amazon, and I just couldn't believe that some of them were like 50, 60 bucks. Has anyone experienced this? And I just think to myself, I mean, are they price gouging with these puzzles because there's a demand for them? And I didn't want to be, I mean, coloring books could be doing that, right? People could be making coloring book prices skyrocket because more people are coloring now. So I'm just kind of adding this orangey color here, where all of my darker sections are, where all of the darker spaces are. And then I'm going to go back in with something that's a good contrast to orange, but not a purple, because we don't really want to go a little crazy with purple. I am going to put a little bit of brown, this kind of light brown. It's like a brownish, like a terracotta color, I guess, for right here. And I'm going to do that a little bit lighter. But if I do a little bit of a heavier pressure here, there's kind of like, you know, where the sun don't shine type thing. I'm just going to kind of blow off the dust. Omana is agreeing with me. I had a heart attack when I went to buy my family a puzzle. It was $20 for 300 pieces. Wasn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? I was going to buy a puzzle for myself. And I love to do a puzzle, but I couldn't even believe it. I think Bits and Pieces, you know that website, Bits and Pieces? I did see some puzzles there for like $8.99. I think Michael's had some good prices, but I got to tell you, I ordered some paint from Michael's 15 days ago, and it's lost in transit. So I don't know. You know, people complain about Amazon, but I got to tell you, Amazon really, you know, they know what they're doing. So now I'm going to put some yellow back here for this section here. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, meat. The price of meat too, right? I haven't bought meat in a while, actually. I need to stock up on some more meat this week. So I haven't experienced the meat price. Guess I should take a look at it. Haven't really seen a shortage of meat though around here. Has anyone else experienced that? But the puzzles, I thought that was outrageous. I mean, really, really outrageous. And, you know, I don't really like that they were doing that. I mean, is it more to produce? I don't know. I know that I can put my artwork on puzzles and the prices are really, really expensive. But then when you take a look at the price compared to what the puzzles are selling for, it actually isn't that bad. So, I don't know. It's just crazy. How about bikes? That's another thing there's a shortage of, right? And there's a company coming to my area that's about to open 4 stores selling bikes. It's not good when it comes to all that price gouging stuff, you know? Or how about dogs? Puppies. Debbie says, I've been waiting 2 months for something I ordered on Amazon. It's lost. Oh, no. $8 for a pound of ground beef. Oh, my God. I honestly have not bought meat in about, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. I need to take a look. I need to start to replace some stuff that we've eaten. But how about puppies? How about the price of puppies? Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy prices. I actually, I don't know if I'm still considering it or not, but I could be. Considering adding a 3rd dog friend to my house. A little puppy. And I called a couple of places, and this one woman wanted $2,500 for these little Maltese puppies. And then a couple other places, $2,400, $2,500. Are they crazy? This is insane. I think everyone is gouging to an extent. Sarah is saying, my hairdresser has already said they would be increasing the services. What? To make up for what they've lost? That's awful. I can only imagine how much the increase is going to be. I also have been paying more in grocery shopping. Everything has gone up except gas. Yeah, grocery shopping, you're right. I agree with you. I think it's terrible the hairdressers didn't do that. How about hairdressers that are saying that if you color your own hair, it's going to be $300 like a $300 visit to correct the color? How about that? That's crazy. Did you get bikes cheap? Yeah, puppies are outrageously expensive right now, and I don't know. I would like to kind of add a little dog to my house. Scotland and Paisley seem to think that they need to have a little tiny friend to hang around with. So if anybody knows of like a Maltese, I know I need to adopt. I know, Sandra. But even the adoption prices were skyrocketed. One adoption agency was $750. What happened to remember when I was a kid, we adopted a puppy at the pound and he was $6. What happened to that? I'm using Stabilo Chalk Pastels, Sarah. Alice says, last week my local store had hamburger prices $6 for ground chuck, and this week split chicken breast for $2.59. Well, $2.59 isn't that bad for chicken breasts, but it's $6. That's about what hamburger is around here. I usually end up paying that $4.99, $5.99, $4.99. Omana is saying, I was looking at adopting a 1-year-old collie, and they wanted $600 for him. I was like, okay, just let me not pay my phone bill for 3 months. Yeah, well, I mean, I have purebreds, but you know what? Scotland and Paisley are purebred, and they were way less than that. Paisley was free because Paisley was a birthday gift. Paisley was given to me as a gift for my birthday 1 year. So what better way to celebrate your birthday than with a puppy? Yeah, outrageously priced, Sandra. Omana says, I just braid my hair. If I want color, I just get weave that has color. I just think that gray is in, right? So why bother coloring your hair, anybody? Sharon, I think that's crazy. So I've got black now, black pencil, and I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of black on the underside of these, just to kind of give it a little bit of a pop to it. And then here, I'm not outlining it, but I am putting a little bit of black inside here, just to kind of give it like a heavy bottom. I guess this will be the only time we want to have a heavy bottom, right? And you're just going to give a little bit of a line here. And sometimes you can, let me give it a little bit of a black here. Tiny bit. Sometimes I like to just kind of just do this to it. Just give it this black line around it with whatever I've colored with. And I think it actually really kind of enhances it. It reminds me of like an Instagram frame or something. I don't know why my page is crooked, by the way. Mary says, I canceled watercolors on Amazon after waiting over a month, and the very next day they arrived. Did they charge you for it? I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I've had some pretty good luck with stuff that I've been ordering on Amazon. I ordered something last week that was supposed to be here like on a Tuesday after ordering it on Friday, and it arrived the next day. So, but some things are just outrageously priced. I think the two things that surprised me the most, honestly, were puzzles and puppies. You know, those were the two things that kind of really kind of surprised me. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of this black just to kind of enhance what's there. And I actually think that this has more of a blue background in the real deal thing. Just kind of adding a little bit of black here, just a little bit of a line. It's going to be one of those around like this comments, right, Alice? So, Alice, I have to tell you, I'm taking a break from pizza. I gotta say. I decided that I needed to take a little bit of a break. Can you believe it? Trying to cut back on the carbs. So, taking a little bit of a break from the pizza. This week, I might try a cauliflower crust, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. All right, I'm going to give this guy, right here, a little bit of a highlight with something. A little bit of white, just kind of up at the top. You know, Mary's saying, I've got to see if they charge me in a few days. You know what bugs me is that sometimes, I don't know if this happens to anybody, I have something that I had ordered. Well, I don't even know what I had ordered. I'm looking at my my checking account, and there's a charge for like $13.33 or something crazy. From Amazon. And when I go back in to look for my orders, there is nothing for $13.33. So I don't know what the heck they're talking about. I don't know if they don't know what they're doing. So I've got this kind of white eraser, and what I'm going to do now is just kind of take away some color as much as I can in some of these spots. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. I don't want it to look too like... And that's complete. I can't get used to the cauliflower to sub for anything. It's not the same. Oh, I know. I know. I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I want to try it. I feel like it's not going to be crispy enough, right? Alice is saying, I couldn't even go in the vet's office. They came to my car and got Cleo, and she was scared. I felt so bad for her. My dogs have an appointment at the end of June, and they're going to have to do that. And I'm very worried about it, too, myself, Alice, because Scarlett does not like to be taken from me. And I don't know. But they have to do it, right? If they're sick. Is she okay? Hey, Diana. Diana's finally here. Okay, so we're finished with this page, but I have a page that I'm going to color from Landscape Beauty. And I'm going to switch to colored pencils because these Chalk Pastels are making me way too stuffed up. So I'm just going to leave this over to the side. So a good result, right? I'll have to kind of get in my throat. I'll have to go find that painting for you so I can show it to you. Okay, so I have my new book. No, it wasn't for Prime on it. I paid by the year. I don't know what it's for, to be honest with you. Sometimes that happens when I order from, I don't like when they do this. I order from Whole Foods through Amazon Prime, and then say it comes to $50. And then they shop my order, and there's things that are missing in the order, so the price will change. So say it comes out to $45. They put both charges, $50 and then another $45. And then the higher charge will drop. will fall off after a couple of days. I don't like that they do that. All right, so this page is available on my website. There's a link. Let's pop it in again. You can get this free page. And I'm going to use Faber-Castell Polychromos for this one. And I have some Black Widow colored pencils with me. I have the skin tones. So you can go ahead and get this page. A few people have already claimed it. And you can print it out. This book is available on Amazon for only $5.99, or you can get the PDF on my website also if you don't want to wait. Yeah, it's very annoying when they do that. I don't like when they do that. I mean, you got to really make sure you kind of have enough, right? And I don't like to keep that much money in my checkbook, so I keep the $1 million in another account, right? Does anybody else do that? You got to keep the $1 million in the other account. Faber-Castell Polychromos are really nice pencils. I also have these Black Widow skin-colored pencils. This is the dark tones. Did you guys see that Crayola has people colors now? Don't know why this is so crooked. What is going on here? Okay, we'll see what happens now. All right, so I'm using kind of a combo here. I'm going to just jump right in with this bridge, and I'm going to make it brown. This is a burnt ochre color. And, I mean, when you're coloring grayscale, same pressure, and it will simply come to life. I feel like I'm going to put some gray in this, too, also, like, combined with this color. And I'll use the gray from the Black Widow. Plus, color in the direction of the object that you're coloring. So, these are vertical posts, so I'm coloring in a vertical direction, up and down. And then for this handle, or railing, this is the handle, the railing, I'm going this way. In this direction, so it's more of an arching motion. And even underneath here, I'll do a different color. But see how it has that darker section there? That's in kind of like the wood is different colors. I'm going to go back in with a different color as I go over that. And it just kind of comes to life, even with just the same pressure. You don't even have to do anything else. So let's grab this kind of grayish color here, this darker gray. It's a skin tone pencil. It's right here. See where it's kind of like that darker section? And there's that little bit of that gray right there. Now remember what I did with the with that black on the other page that I was coloring on the Chalk Pastel one? I kind of added a little bit of black to it. I'm going to do the same thing for this to kind of emphasize what's there, but I'm going to save it till the end. And just kind of going on top of it. You know, sometimes some colored pencils do not work well together, different brands, but these two brands work really well together. And then we've got these rocks, but rocks really are not completely gray all the time. And this has kind of like this eggplant-ish color. It's called washed purple. And I just feel like it would be really good for these rocks that are down here. And I'm going to add some different colors to these also. Maybe even a little bit of a green, maybe, because there could be moss on these. I'm not really referring to what's back here for the photo, but I guess I could, right? Here it is. They're kind of a brown color. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of a little bit of a brown color right there. But I'm going to put this washed purple color first. And these are kind of some rocks here at the side. Just to kind of give it a general color. And then this one is called Olive Brown. So kind of like the side of the rock is what I'm going for, that lighter section. So it will kind of look a little like it's not so flat. And then when I take that black and go in between everything, it'll look even better. And here's more rocks here on this side, giving it that kind of a brownish color. Here's another one here. When I'm coloring grayscale, I'm usually bouncing all around. I'm gonna give this kind of a light green color back here with this Faber-Castell Polychromo. And then I'll go back in with a darker green and a little bit of brown also. But just to kind of give it a little bit of green. But look how the darks are already kind of shining through. And then we've got the shrub that's sitting here. So I'm going to go back in here, kind of a little bit of this darker green color, which is called emerald, where those darker sections are. And then this is another shrub that's in the corner. I'm just going to go right on top of it. Make it really simple. And then this guy right here. And this one could actually have like some different colors maybe on the top of it. I'm going to go with this this pinker color here, which is called saffron. Looks pink to me. Just to kind of give it some, so it has some floral, like some flowers that are hitting the top of it, and go back in with a little bit of this lighter green also. Jump back in with a darker brown underneath here on the underside of it, and even in between these rocks. So by putting a darker color right there to the left of this rock, it looks like this rock is kind of coming forward. Does that make sense? So you're like low lighting it. You're adding a darker line or a darker accent to it from behind. It's kind of like low lighting your hair type thing. Tell that to your hairdresser. Say, I want my hair low lighted like a coloring page. Go back in here with a little bit of gray, just to kind of tone that brown down, because I don't really like how that kind of looked. And then I've got this black color, but I'm going to give it a better sharpen. Oh no. Good thing Paisley's not around. The other day she ate a purple crayon. See how I'm just kind of darkening what's in between there? This is called mud. It's not really completely black, as opposed to, and I don't really want it to be complete. Well, here's midnight. Let's switch to midnight. And just giving it a little bit of this kind of midnight color right there. Going to go back in with a little bit of gray behind here, in the behind. And now I'm going to concentrate on my shrubs that are back here. I'm going to go in here with this spring green color. Is it called spring green? Light green, sorry. The lighting on this is terrible on these pencils. Well, because they're in gold, it's hard to see them. The color Forget Me Not Black Widow makes a good watercolor. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That is a good color. I love that color, actually. This water, though, in this particular page, look, I'm dropping all my pencils, is kind of brown. You know, so it's not really even blue. Kind of a brownish look. But look what's happening behind all of this. See behind these trees? There's the sky peeking through. So I'm going to take this periwinkle color and just give it some color in between these trees. And I'm going to put that color in there first so that then I can go back over with other colors on top of it. And I could actually enhance that a little bit because the sky is, we want the sky to be as blue as possible. And just kind of add a little bit here. I think that color and grayscale, the results are just like, they're just magical sometimes, aren't they? It's like, who would have ever thought? I remember the very first grayscale page I ever colored. I colored it with markers. Big mistake. And I was like, this is awful. But then I realized that if I used pencil, it would have been so much better. So now I'm going to go back in with this mud color that we had. Oh no, this is called Negra. Negra. Is that called Negra? And I'm using this as much of a, I've got a kind of a sharp point on here. And I'm going back in for my branches. Just kind of adding them. That's another tree right there. So I don't want to do anything to that yet. But see those branches right there? Just kind of going back in between. They don't really go completely up. And then continuing with this lighter green color as we go across across all of this, across those branches. I'm going to go with this one too. Now, it's got some dark lines in it, right? Some dark spaces. Yay for periwinkle. Right, Bonnie. Every time I use periwinkle, I think of you, Bonnie. Oh, I forgot this. As I start to get the hiccups. And then I'm going to add a little bit here. Yo, forget-me-not would make a good sky too. You're right, Sarah. This one is called Cinnamon. And I'm just going to kind of change as I'm going across what other... Give it a quick sharpen. I don't know how it would look if it was blue, though. I guess I could do it blue. You don't think it would look weird? I'm going to put these... Give this other tree a cinnamon color. You kind of have to determine what you need to color first. So here's those branches that are back there, or the trees, and then I'm going to put the leaves on top of it. Kind of a dark little corner of the world there. I'm going to find my other green. Here it is. For this shrub right here. And if I do a light enough pressure there, then it will allow for the light to shine, the lights and the darks to shine through as I'm doing this, which will make it look more like grayscale, because you don't want it to be opaque. You want it to be so that you can kind of see the gray. You want to know this was a grayscale picture. And I'm going back in with all of these, where all of these darker spots are, to kind of enhance that. And now as we get towards this section of these trees, I'm going to go with this darker green color. My cinnamon color. And then do a darker section. See where all those little dark areas are? Go back in. Here's some more cinnamon here. And then maybe there's some more kind of trees kind of bouncing around back there. Add a little more of this color, this light green. Find some black. Just to kind of enhance it a little bit. I kind of bounce between colors. Can you tell? Kind of as I'm adding everything. And this right here is much darker at the bottom section. So here's some green here. But then we've got some brown going on with some tree stumps, some trees that are kind of up there. Maybe we have a darker section there. Because it's kind of dark in between that. And then add a little bit more black here. Sometimes where it's the blackest section of something, where it's the darkest, then you could actually just add some black. Again here, just kind of the underside of the railing type thing. And then here too at the underside of this railing. This bottom section, making it completely black. Again here, just kind of, there's a black area. And then I'm going to go with some brown here for these rocks. Bounce back up here for the trees. Yeah, the water has a green tint. I was just thinking that. Are you reading my mind, Alice? I think, huh? I was just thinking that I've got to put some green down here. Actually, here's some green in here. Could kind of be like a bluish green. Plus, look at this. Here's the reflection of these posts. That's the other part that's important. I still don't know why this is crooked. There's another branch as I'm moving along. I think we need to put some more periwinkle, or AKA Bonnie, right in here. And add some green there. And then right here we've got a lot of greenery going on, some shrubbery, and add a little bit of this green on top of it. Here's another rock. In this section here, I'm going to make it look like it has dirt. See right here, these crevices of these rocks, just a tiny bit of this black will enhance it. So it makes it look like it's popped out. Same thing here and here. And just kind of the underside of that railing right there. I think I finally have the page straight. Was that driving you crazy as much as it was driving me crazy? My goodness. I'm going to go with this darker green on top of this shrub that's in the corner. And notice all those dark sections, I'm going to go with some brown, with some black. But let's pop some like a lighter green here. And see this guy right here? I'm going to make it this too. So starting out with the light green here. And then I had, was it saffron, I believe it was called? There it is. Saffron. Just to kind of give it a little bit of color. And then add a little bit of, just a little bit of black in the, kind of like the in-between sections. And then here, kind of like the in-between sections here. And then in between here. So see where it's just dark? That's just basically what I'm doing. Sound like a broken record. A broken record. Not a record, a record, right? Okay, so this is the only rock that I have left. And I'm going to use this kind of same beige color here just to kind of pull my eye across it on these. And I kind of want that white section that's on this rock to remain. All right, now I'm going to jump into the water. Okay, so Alice made a really good point about it being green tint, and Sarah was saying it should still be blue. So let's kind of do this direction here. But look, we've got a reflection of these rocks. So that's kind of why it takes on a brownish tint to it. Because water is a reflection of everything around it. So in this case, it's reflecting what is on the sides of it, and that's why it's becoming that brownish tint. So I'm going across with this blue color here. Now I'm going to go back in with this particular green, just to kind of give it a little bit of a blend. Because here's some grass too, right? That's kind of growing there. We've got this reflection of the post, and I'm going to use the same color and go on top of it, on top of that blue. So it still kind of reflects what's in the water. But remember, when there's a reflection, it's always foreshortened. It's a little shorter than it usually is. And go back in with a little bit of this green, and then I will go back into here with some brown and some orange. And hopefully, I mean, sorry, brown and orange. Brown and black. Brown and orange. My goodness. Let's go back in with some brown, kind of to soften what's happening here. And you'll still be able to kind of see the tint of all of it. This reminds me of a project I did with my niece long ago. And she had to make some sort of like, what was it called? Diorama or something? Something like that. And it was, we had to create a river. So we took lollipops and we melted them. And so they became liquid. And then we turned them into this, like a river. It was pretty funny, actually. I think she was like 7 or 8 at the time. And I did it on the grill outside, and we melted the lollipops. I think she thought I was a little crazy. Brown and orange, yes. Amana's laughing. At least I'm here to entertain Amana, right? All right, so now I'm adding a little bit of black, kind of like on the underside of these rocks. And then almost kind of mimicking the shape in a little bit of a line. So it kind of looks like it's inside there, but then I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a blur to it. But these lines right here, I'm going to put a little bit of a black line right there. Just so it looks like it's kind of standing out. Thank you, Alana. This was a fun page to color, actually. So you guys can get this page on my website. This is a free page from this new book, Landscape Beauty. And this book is available on Amazon for only $5.99. Cheap, cheap, you know? I think it's a deal. 24 pages to color, 2 copies of every page. All of my grayscale books are now $5.99. Some other line art, regular coloring books, line art books are also $5.99. It really depends on the number of pages that they have. That's what determines the price. So, my new book that's coming out this week called Snazzy, Color by Number, Variety Color by Number, will be higher than $5.99 because of the number of pages that it will have. So that's the only problem. But I'm starting to think about those puzzles, Amana. The puzzle prices. I'm starting to think that should book prices be higher, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, as people that buy coloring books, we're going to say no. But what is happening? Why are the puzzle people making them so expensive? Supply and demand, I guess, but there's a demand for coloring books too. So just adding some black as I go along, just to kind of say, well, where should that be? And I'm noticing that some sky is peeking through here. So I'm just going to use this, this is called Phthalo Blue. But if you have a black with a really, really good point to it, it really enhances it if you go back in to different sections. Put some more green in this section here. Just kind of doing the final touches on it, the finishing touches. A little bit of green here and a little bit of this. And then just kind of adding some lighter green onto this section here. And I'm actually going to go back in with this saffron color again and just kind of add a little bit of kind of like saffron tips just to this little shrub on the side. Just to kind of a little teeny tiny bit. I know, I know, isn't it crazy? It's just price gouging, right? I guess I think that they're going to keep going up though, don't you, Amana? I think they're going to keep going up. I think that if you're looking for a puzzle, you better get it now. Or they'll be out of stock. That's the other thing. So just adding a little bit of this kind of like beige color here and just a little bit on the underside of this. I think I'm going to call it done. I don't know. What do you think? I think maybe I need to add a little bit of yellow back here just to kind of make it look like the sun is shining through these. Just kind of here and there. Kind of give it a little bit of a glow. On top of that green. And to this guy too. I think it's finished. I hope my water looks okay. I was concerned about the water and the color, but notice I did not do anything to this bottom rock because I wanted that bottom rock to just kind of be the way it is. It looks different on screen than it does in person. Okay, so check out this page on my website. Get that free page for yourself. And we meet again next Monday at 10 a.m. And let's see what we're going to color next Monday in the color along book. Let's see. We've got, where are we at? Oh, one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. Next Monday, we are coloring this page, which is from my book, Outdoor Beauty, Grayscale Photo Coloring Book. It's just a close-up of grass. I know, isn't it amazing the things that you can do when you've gone to art school, Ivana? Don't you think that it's taught you more things beyond just even art? Like how to create something, how to turn something into something else. It's just crazy. Thank you, Bonnie Hughes. Bonnie Miller says some people just need some inexpensive things to do. Coloring, DIY crafts from Dollar Tree. I agree with you. I haven't really gone to Dollar Tree lately. Thank you, Alice. All right, so this one is what we're working on next week. And then we've got another grayscale page coming up the following week after that, which is from just in this book. It's not in any other book, with just 2 colors. And we're moving along. So Wednesday is the draw along group. If you're still interested, Omana, you're sending me a message. Omana, I'm going to take a picture for you. I have a picture somewhere that I'll show you. Omana is asking me, what does your setup look like? How are you able to have your camera so steady? I have a photograph somewhere from that I shared in the camp group, so I'll share it with you guys today, so you can see how my camera is able to stay so steady. I have it on a metal shelf, Lamana. So, and the other part is that you've got to make sure that your phone is flipped, so that it's horizontal. I'm going to talk about computers too. I'm going to replace my laptop screen next week. Oh my goodness, come on over and replace. I need to replace a fan and a big computer. I'm thinking of taking it apart. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Check out Landscape Beauty. Post your finished page from today's color along in my Just Color coloring group, and I will see everyone soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great day.